right, CitizenFM 93.7. It is 5 minutes past 9. It's the Zuma Talking Point. My name is KEMI Shekun. And of course, this is the point where we get to talk to a guest. We're still trying to fix this Nigeria, and we won't stop because it's about the citizens, It's about the citizens. And we hope that one day we will have a country that we can bequeath to our children and those yet unborn. It is said that there is no country in the world with the diversity, the confidence, the talent, and the black pride like Nigeria. And that's a quote by a Kenyan, and this is very true. However, some of the challenges that bedevils Nigeria, seem to be decades old, and we don't seem to be able to find a solution to all of this yet. During the military rule, it seemed like the military was the problem, but now during democracy, it seems like the Democrats are the problem, and even the citizens too. Today on Talking Points, Zuma Talking Points on Citizen FM 93.7, we will be looking at what the citizens can do differently, especially by following the money. The responsibility of a great Nigeria rests on the shoulders not only of the leaders, but also of the citizens. This morning, I have in the studio with me Hamzat Bala Lawal, popularly called Amzi Code. He is the co-founder of Follow the Money and CEO of Connected Development, which is why he is popularly called Amzi Code. Code is an NGO empowering marginalized communities in Africa with access to information and how to better engage their government for implementation of public service. Amzi Code is a former Boy Scouts leader and a graduate of political science. He's also a co-convener of Not Too Young to Run, a multiple award winner, national and international. Amzi Code is also popularly called White Elephant. A very good morning to you, Amzi Code, and good to have you in our studios this morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. Good morning, our listeners.
Do we start with why you are called White Elephant? Because we do have quite a number of White Elephant projects in Nigeria.
I've never thought about it that way.
Okay.
Nice. Well, because my favorite color is white, and I have similar traits of an elephant, and then,
Tell us about those traits.
So, from the research that one of my fans did, and there's a video about why I'm called White Elephant, that I am bold, I am resilient, I am kind, I'm a humanitarian, and, I'm strong. So that it has similar trait with an elephant. And there's a video on my Twitter handle.
Okay.
I tweeted it this morning just to reshare, saying, let me reintroduce myself as a white
elephant. But then we have a lot of white elephant projects in Nigeria. Is that why you're following the money?
Yes. I started Follow the Money in 2012, and for me...
that's 10 years now.
Yes, so Follow the Money will be 10 in August. So in 2010, there was lead poisoning in Zamfara State. At that time, it was reported that 400 children had died due to lead poisoning. That's contamination of their environment, so the water, the air, and the soil. So at that time, it was declared a national emergency. Billions of naira was released for intervention. So 2 years after, so in 2012, I was struggling to get information. So I went to the Federal Secretary, I went to the Ministry of Health, Epidemiological Department. I was referred to the Public Health Department. So I met with the directors and I was asking, what did you people do to respond to this crisis 2 years ago? And they kept asking me, why are you asking? Who are you? Who do you work for? Who sent you? So I went to the Ministry of Mines and Solid Minerals. I asked them questions and nobody was giving me answer. I went to the Ministry of Environment and they were asking me, are you part of opposition? Are you trying to make the government look bad? Why are you asking all these questions? So I got on a bus going to Gusau, and maybe just to put this into context, from Abuja to Gusau is 7 hours by road on the about 42 degrees centigrade, so it's really hot. And to make people better understand, I might speak like a House of Fulani man and I might look like a House of Fulani man. I am not a House of Fulani man. I'm not even from the north.
Where are you from?
From the south, east, or west. I'm from Nigeria.
Okay, I like the sound of that. So I got
to Gusau after 7 hours, and then I was asking in the park, I want to go to that community where kids had died 2 years ago. So a lot of people look at me like something was wrong with me because nobody wanted to go to the community. And so I was told you have to take another car going to Anka. So from Gusau to Anka is 4.5 hours.
That's 11.5 hours on the road.
For now. So the road is terrible. by the way. So I got there. So in Anchor, I was told I have to go to Bagega, which was the name of the community. And I said, okay, how do I go? They said I can only go on a donkey, a camel, a horse, or a motorbike. And it's going to take another 5 hours to access the... By the way, there was no road. So it's just a pathway to the community. So finally, I got a motorbike, guy, on a motorbike, and then we went to this community. First, I found out that no single cent of the billions of naira that was released 2 years ago got to this community. 2, I found out that over 700 children had died, so it was underreported. 3, I found out that 1,500 children were very sick, and they're below 5 years, they're very sick and at the verge of losing their life, and that nobody was talking about it and nobody was doing anything about it. I met Doctors Without Border on the field who were ready to administer free treatment to these kids, but they needed government to come and clean up the environment. So I started a campaign with a hashtag. So let me even share a bit of the story. So after that, I was trying to also understand what was the root cause, which was artisanal mining. At that time, government called it illegal mining and has placed a ban on mining. So the miners had moved from Bagega into the deep forest. So it would take you another 2.5 hours to access the mining site deep into the forest. So I told the biker guy to take me inside. So I got into the forest. I saw huge mining activity ongoing. I met a lot of miners. I spoke to them. I took pictures, I took videos. Also in the community, I took pictures and videos, of course with their permission. So I came back to Abuja and I started a campaign called Save Bagega on Twitter with the hashtag Save Bagega, because Bagega was the name of the community I needed to be saved. So I aggregated all the videos and pictures and I put them online. And then it went viral, from Twitter to CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, then to local TV and radio. And then the then President Goodluck Jonathan, approved the sum of $5.3 million, which was needed. That was close to 1 billion naira. And that was how I started Follow the Money. So from Save Bagega campaign to Follow the Money. And the idea was to follow the money from Abuja to Gusau to Anchor and then to Bagega.
To be sure that it got there.
I didn't get carried away with the whole excitement that government have approved this money. So
now, this brings me to the point of citizens, because we are CitizenFM. Why? Why did you decide to go on that? Any other person could have said it's none of my business. Why?
So for me, I just figured that to make change happen, we need to leave our comfort. I'm a very comfortable man at that time in Abuja. I'm a city boy. I literally grew up in Abuja, primary, secondary, university in Abuja. And I just felt for me to make the kind of change I want to see, I must leave my comfort, go to terrain where I don't even know or understand, and then talk to people who a lot of people don't even know existed, because Bagega was not on the map. So for me, I challenged myself to leave my comfort and experience something.
And this brings me to this question. What do you think is Nigeria's problem?
I think we have a citizen problem. They're not leaders, they're rulers. But our rulers, or current so-called rulers, are from the citizen, because elections happen and it's these people like you and I that elect them. Yeah, people will argue that, it is a delegate system, but those delegates are neighbors they are neighbors, they are brothers, sisters. So it's a citizen problem. And if we can get it right with citizen, what it means is we'll get it right with leadership and how we practice our democracy. When you were saying your news, you said we're practicing democracy. Now we have Democrats in a democratic setting. No, we have democracy without Democrats. They're not Democrats. Yeah.
Okay. Now that brings me to the issue of what we are currently experiencing now. You have mentioned that the delegates are a part of us. A lot of the times when Nigerians want to talk, they will say it is the rulers, or they will say it is the leaders. Forgetting that there are rules in a democracy, there are rules for the citizens too. In your own opinion, having left your comfort zone to start something for people who may never be able to repay you, what would you say to the average Nigerian citizen? How should we, come into our place so that we can put our rulers, as you put it, or our leaders right now, on their toes so that they do the right thing?
So for citizens, we need to understand that beyond getting our permanent voters card and coming out on election day, the actual work starts immediately after elections, because that's where you hold them to account. Because a lot of these politicians who we elect into office, they usually engage in town hall meeting and a lot of political outreaches, and they make a lot of promises using their manifesto. either their personal manifesto or their party manifesto. What happens is, after elections, it's now time for them to implement this manifesto. So a lot of them would say, oh, we're committing to education or healthcare or providing jobs. So how are they doing it? So it's, for me, the work starts after elections, where we would hold them to account. And for them to do that, they need budget. They need to get an approved budget. So for me, the budget for me is the Quran or the Bible of what leads or how the direction or what's the priority of the politician who is in office. So for Citizen, democracy has guaranteed our freedom of expression, our freedom of speech. So yes, I know a lot of young people, particularly out there, are very angry and aggrieved, and that's why when you go on Twitter, on Facebook, there's a lot of that energy of venting. But then what happened after you vent? Nothing. You come back again tomorrow, maybe you get money from your uncle or your parent to buy data, and then you vent. So
that's
venting
perhaps
does not
that's
change
perhaps
anything.
why they say keyboard warriors.
Yes,
Beyond,
that's
beyond venting.
So beyond venting, you have to actually take another step. I didn't just vent on Twitter and save the bagega and started follow the money. I moved from venting, and I also, at that time, I guess I reflected and I said, just ranting on social media will not change things. Yes, a lot of people will say, a lot of young people out there are unemployed. But then again, you pay tax even if you're unemployed. And then you argue, I've not paid tax for 5 years because after university, I didn't get money, I didn't get a job. But I say, okay, you go to supermarket. There's what you call VAT on the receipts. That's value
added tax. Yeah.
Oh, some people say, I've never shopped in a supermarket, or I don't shop in a supermarket. Okay, you buy kose and akara on the street side. That woman actually pay tax because, Amak would give you a daily receipt or some 50 naira, 100 naira. That woman puts a premium price on her akara or cocoa.
Based on what
based
she
on the
pays.
tax she pays, the local guy. So we all pay tax directly or indirectly. Sometimes we even pay multi-tax. So for me, to the young people out there, we need to look at how we can create value. So you see, young people say, we need a seat on the table. But what value do you bring on the table? Being young alone does not guarantee you any rights to contribute towards governance or become, a government appointee or even an elected appointee. So let's not get carried away by being youthful and and having any sense of entitlement. So because again, you've been young, it's just a transition phase. We would become old someday. So are we saying because we're young or because we're not too young to run, it means the old people should just give us space as young citizens to contribute our quota? No, you must bring value. And what is that value? It's skills, it's experience, it's exposure. So what skill do you have? Forget about the degree. Forget about, all the degrees and certificates. What is the certificate that you have? So it's not certificate.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
What is the sabi? Waiting you sabi. What is the sabi certificate, right?
Certificate.
Okay. You certificate.
So because a lot of older generation people would draw you closer. They say the younger people who wash their hands well would eat with the elders. So
absolutely.
Washing your hands well is having knowledge, experience, and exposure. I say exposure because the things that you would never learn from the four walls of the classroom, the things you never learn in Nigeria.
You didn't learn to go to Bagega by being in the class.
At all.
What you studied political science.
Yes, I did.
Political science has nothing to do with being a nomad, but you went to Bagega.
Oh, yes, I went to Bagega. I slept in Bagega. I got mosquito bites. I slept with cockroach and mosquitoes and lizard.
Was there any point you were afraid?
Yeah, it was a scary journey. I was scared, but then I believe my fears did not hold me back. I'm still scared right now because sometimes when I speak, I get scared if I would get arrested.
The funny thing is, I see you talking about Bagega and I see your eyes filling with water. I don't want to say tears. It must have been a very
emotional period and a story. This I can write 1,000-page book about my experience in Bagega and traveling back and forth and engaging Citizen, even getting threatened. By the way, I was attacked by bandits. So at that time, they called them cattle rustlers. Well, because...
Did you travel alone?
Yeah, I mostly traveled alone at that time. Then before I started recruiting
You really are an elephant.
Yeah. Yeah, I got attacked by,
Wow, what was that experience about?
So we're going, and the next thing, some guys in black and on horse rode, and they double-crossed us and said, everybody, calm down, lie down on the floor, flat, empty your pockets. So we all they were holding guns and machetes. So that day I thought I was going to die, because from when you get to Anchor, there's no mobile network. So from Bagega, when you get from Gusau, there's network. So from Gusau to Anchor, there's network. Once you get to Anchor, there's no more. At that time, but now there's network.
Okay.
No network. So from Anchor to Bagega.
And you were part of those who contributed to the network.
Yeah. So it was part of our campaign that got them. Even now they have access road, by the way.
Wow.
They have access road. They have 2 mobile carriers.
That brings me to leaving your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Citizens have to leave their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Power is not served a la carte. You must bring value. You must bring something to the table. We go back to following the money. When $5.3 billion was released for that project, how much of the money did you follow? And
thank you. So when that money was approved, because it's another story.
Okay.
So the president called a press briefing. He signed a document approving $5.3 million. And so now, that time I learned another different aspect of following the money.
Okay.
There's difference between approval. There's difference between releases, and then there's difference between utilization.
Disbursement. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
let's go. Approval.
Yes, releases, and then utilization. So the president signed. So what happens administratively is, after Mr. President signed, the chief of staff of the president would take the file to the Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance would flag the accountant general, and then this money will be disbursed to 3 line ministries: Ministry of Health, Ministry of Environment, and Ministry of Mines and Solid Mineral. So on the budget, over 450 million was meant for the Ministry of Environment to do environmental remediation, which is the cleanup.
Yeah.
Then Ministry of Health has 200 million to procure the medicine and then treatment. Then Ministry of Mines and Solid Mineral have the remaining money to ensure safer mining practices, so training, buying equipment, and putting safety
gears,
in the community. So
you really did follow the money.
Oh yeah, we had access to the breakdown of the budget. So what the first thing we did was to get, what was this 5.3 million going to do? So we had access to that data.
Okay.
And so what we also did was to simplify the data. So we did it into visualization infographics. I worked with a lot of young volunteers who had these skills and capacity. And then we translated it into local language, because the community only understood Hausa. So we were able to mediate between English and Hausa, and what policymakers were saying and what the communities understood.
So they could get what was going on.
So the president had approved. Now this file did not move. What happened at that time was the chief of staff to the president was asking for 10% of that money, which was 100 million naira.
And then I don't want you to because you say you worry for your safety.
No, I won't mention names.
It would be nice to take a look at the chief of staff of the president as of 2012.
Well, so interestingly, at that time, a lot of people don't even know about chief of staff of the president. It was until Buhari's time that a lot of people got to know the chief of staff during the Abakari regime. That he was really prominent and popular because he's always in picture and public events with the president. So at that time, nobody really knew who the chief of staff was.
And he was asking for 10% of $5.3 million, which was 100 million naira or $530,000.
So, and then it baffled me. Children were really sick, over 1,000.
And over 700 had died.
And then so it shows you that corruption is really deep. So what did we do at that time? Because it was a dilemma for me leading the campaign. The president has approved and signed. So I can't go back to the media or social media and say, the president is inactive, because we launched a social media campaign against Jonathan with Human Rights Watch and getting Citizen on his wall on Twitter and Facebook. And then a lot of people does not care or does not know who the chief of staff is. So what
after all, the president has signed.
Yes, what we did was to target the Minister of Finance. Because when you look at administration in the back end of government, the chief of staff is only answerable to the president. And yes, he sits at the Federal Executive Council meeting, but he's not an executive member that was picked by the parliament. So what we just did was to play on the sentiment of citizens, because citizens only understood, once the president signed, the finance ministry disbursed money. So we just targeted the Ministry of Finance, and that time was Madam Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. And what we did, and what I said was, Madam Ngozi was disrespecting a presidential order. for not disbursing.
But then you knew
because I can't go public with the information
with that
and
information
with that, because I don't have concrete evidence.
True.
And the guy could deny it.
True.
And then nobody know who the chief of staff is.
Absolutely. But he was there.
Yeah, he was there. And the key people who were engaged, the stakeholders knew that the guy was asking for 100 million, and that's why he was holding on to the file, because he was meant to move the file to the finance ministry.
Isn't it the point where we start looking at digitalizing the things that happen in governance?
Digital governance.
Digital governance, because then there will be no need for a chief of staff to carry the file and carry,
Yes.
But please go ahead.
So, breaking news: activists, say minister disrespects presidential order. So he started trending again on Twitter. Oh, Madam Ngozi does not want to release the money. Why?
But it was not her fault.
It wasn't her fault. I am really sorry to her.
But you had to get you had to get it done.
I'm a campaigner. I'm a campaigner, and sometimes you have to bring propaganda tactics. So the president called her. Hello,
what's going on?
Because then she was also the supervising minister or the minister for economy. Yeah, there was she's was the prime minister. She had superpowers. And the president, why haven't you released this money? And then she was like, Mr. President, the file is not on my desk. It's not in my office. And then the president turned to his chief of staff, and then before you know it, within hours, the file turned up, and these monies were disbursed.
Okay.
So it was disbursed from that campaign. So now it is with 3 line ministries.
And then you had to face the 3 of them.
Yes, we had to face the 3 of them. But first, the environment had to come in and clean up the environment. So what we did with simplifying the information in the community was to prep them when this project start, because government call intervention projects. But for us, it was a campaign to get the So we told them government is going to procure tractors. They're going to also hire local laborers to work with, all these other experts, because they need local hand daily, sometimes 200, sometimes 300, because it's a big community. So we now told them, this is how you can help us ensure accountability. Count the numbers of tractors.
Wow.
And daily count the numbers of laborers. But most importantly, this is how much they are meant to pay laborers every day. Now, this is one interesting thing that happened, because at that time I didn't have as much resources that I have now. Even with my resources, I can't deploy people as much as
you would love to.
So there was no one on the ground when the project started. The first day, they had 200 local laborers. And so what we also did was, when we translated, we also printed this information and gave it to them. So infographics, even if you don't know how to read and write, you can
see the pictures, you can see the diagrams, and it was in the local language.
Yes. So the Ministry of Environment official, after the first day of work, called them together and gave them 1,500 as their daily payment. So they now went under. So there's a big mango tree. They went under the mango tree, and they were now having a meeting among themselves that, but why are we being paid 1.5? Because according to Hamzat and Follow the Money, we're meant to be paid 2.5. So why is this man paying us 1.5? Is it that he's going to balance us tomorrow or what? So they now say, let's call him and ask him, since he's here. So they brought him into the meeting and said, okay, Oga, we'll finish today's job, thank you, but we formed a committee here, and we want to ask you, why did you pay us 1.5? And then the man was dumbfolded. He was like, that's your fee for the day. They said, oh, no. But according to Follow the Money, so they brought the paper that visualized the budget breakdown for the 500. According to Follow the Money, we're meant to get 2,005. And see, can you check? Why are you paying us 1.5? So he collected the paper, he checked, he looked at them, and he saw that, okay, these guys are getting agitated, and they know they're right. So the man, went about, grumbled, he came back, and he balanced them on 1,000 each.
That brings me to they know their rights. Follow the Money helps them to know their rights. And that also says that Follow the Money is like a drop in an ocean. If you have many more people within the different local governments following the money, then we will have a better society. Is that correct?
Yes, it is correct.
It is CitizenFM 93.7. It is 29 minutes past 9. And Well, because our responsibility as the voice of the people and the soul of the nation is to help the citizens understand their role in a democracy. It's the reason why we are talking about following the money this morning with Hamzat Lawal, popularly known as Hamzi Code, and also the White Elephant. Little wonder he's following some of the White Elephant projects we have in Nigeria. We will take a quick break, and when we do come back, we'll be back with more.
Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music and drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in progressive talk and solution-driven conversation. Our aim is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse culture together through communication. Enjoy listening to 93.7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
WaveX Pleasure Ride. Here at last. Join the safest, classiest, and cheapest taxi ride in town. WaveX Taxi Ride for absolute safety and comfort. Available in over 500 cities in Nigeria, Africa, Europe, and America. Download the app now from the Google Store.
Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music and drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in progressive talk and solution-driven conversation. Our aim is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse culture together through communication. Enjoy listening to 93.7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
WaveX Pleasure Ride. Here at last. Join the safest, classiest, and cheapest taxi ride in town. WaveX Taxi Ride for absolute safety and comfort. Available in over 500 cities in Nigeria, Africa, Europe, and America. Download the app now from the Google Store.
Alrighty, Citizen FM 93.7. Thank you for staying with us. It is the Zuma Talking Point, and I have in the studio with me Hamzat Lawal, popularly known as Hamzi Code. The White Elephants following White Elephant projects in Nigeria by following the money. I am Kem, and it's been an interesting conversation thus far. I see you trying to call, and I'm thinking, do I want to take it or not? But Hamzi Code says we should if you call again. So 0818 22 22 205 is the number to call. 0818 22 22 205 is the number to call. We are actively looking at how the citizens can contribute to making Nigeria a better place. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Kemi, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Kemi, this is Bode.
Bode, you are back. Good to have you back on the program.
Hamza, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, just like what you said, I remember your first interview when you were interviewing when the Minister of Finance, when you went to the villa, the guest, when he was asking who was this, I remember that interview. I think I took from what you just said, that was why I've been following the project. I think we just need to do more. Just like what Hamza said. Today, I think with what you just said, what made Babala people could be able to enjoy the good road today, because we followed the project and it was completed. The Yard General Hospital, I tried my possible best. We were also trying to talk about it, and today we have a hospital in Yanya. But my concern is about how do we now do it? At times, just like you said, Hamza, you thought the government would come and say it, and at the end of the day, they will not be able to do those things. I've been talking about a primary school in Yanya for over 2-3 years now. They've done the fence, but the primary school, they're in the rainy season. Hamza, as I'm talking to you, the primary school has no roof. One of the buildings has no roof. And it's just directly on the road where you pass, you see visibly being seen. A guest of the primary school, what's it called, educational, one of the directors came to a studio, your neighbor's studio. Let me just say, precisely with Rita. I think the program will also come up today. As I'm talking to you, the rain is on, and there is no roof in that primary school. I've talked about it, and nothing is being done. At times I felt...
Body.
Yeah.
They say talk is cheap. Hamza can't do it alone. You two follow the money. You two follow the money in Yanya.
Tell me, I've been following this. I've talked to the man. At times you go to the office, they don't even allow you. I don't have the... at times you don't have the capacity. I don't have the... I easily get angry. When people you send to do their work, and they are not doing it. They think they will come. They've not come up till now.
Okay, let's see if the white elephant will drop a tusk for you on how to go about it.
My question to you is this. How can I do it? Can I come to your office? Because I want to follow the project in my own domain. I'm concerned about it. And my two concerns are the primary health care and education aspect of it. How can it be done easily?
Thank you, Bode. Okay, so following the money, Hamza, what can he do?
Oh, thank you so much, Bode. So there's a couple of things you can do. So first, our movement, the Follow the Money movement, is ifollowthemoney.org. And you can send us a DM on Twitter. But practically, so the school is dilapidated. Now raining season is here. And when these kids are in the class, when the rain pour, it will pour on them. Take your mobile phone. When it starts raining, go to the school. Do a video of the kids, of the rain pouring on the kids in the classroom and unable to, get taught while this is happening. Take a video also of the kids coming out of the school, wet. Then do a video of a child. Ask him what does he wants to be in the future. Add those videos together, put it on social media, and let citizens make it go viral. Government would naturally respond to that. That's one aspect. The second aspect is tell all the kids in the school to ask their parent to meet you in the school premises at a particular time. Draft a letter, ask all of them to co-sign with you, making demands that government should come and renovate their school so that their children will be safe. Then do a video of a parent who probably the child have fallen sick because of the downpour of water in the school premises and what it costs the family, and a demand from the parent. So if you do this, put it on social media and just tag me, and we would amplify it and make it go viral. Government naturally will respond to this and come and fix the school. So that's how you can do your campaign and advocacy. But as you do this, also create a hashtag so that you can track.
Follow it.
Yes, and then citizens, when they add their voice, they can also use the same hashtag, and probably it could trend and go viral.
All right. Hello, good morning.
I will send you a picture of the school just now. I have it on my phone.
Okay.
I've tried just what you said.
Yeah.
The other day I tried as much as talking to a parent. They looked at you as, I don't know, with this mindset of not being exposed, I try as much as possible convincing the parents, but I have a picture of the school right now. Kenny, I'm going to send you a post on it just now.
Okay, do a video too soon. Okay? Thank you, buddy. All right. 0818-22-22-205 is the number to call. I'm speaking with Hamzat Bala Lawal, who is popularly called Hamzi Code. And we're looking at how the citizens can follow the money so that we can fix Nigeria. There is no messiah coming to fix Nigeria. The fortunate thing is everybody has, most people have a smartphone. And that makes you a citizen that can make a difference if you choose to harness the power with that smartphone. Okay, that said, The World Bank in a recently projected that the number of poor people in Nigeria will hit 95.1 million by 2022. Shall we just throw up our hands and let it happen, or is there something that the citizens can do?
Definitely something citizens can do, and I think that this projection has actually happened. So before COVID-19, when you look at the World Poverty Clock data, 80 million Nigerians were poor or below poverty line. So it means they cannot afford $100 a day. At that time, $100 was like 500 naira. And now with the black market...
Did you say 500 or 50,000?
No, sorry, $1.
$1.
Yes,
Okay,
$1.
okay.
I said $100.
Yeah, $1.
$1, which is 500 naira. But when we went into COVID-19 lockdown and there was a lot of economic shock and there was inflation, over 120 million people became poor.
Okay.
And when we came out of COVID, MBS data showed about 50% of workforce losing their job. And of course, a lot of people who are listening can relate, because some people started getting half their salary.
Absolutely.
Some people were laid off, or some companies and businesses went under because of the impact of COVID-19. So 50% of our workforce. Right now, unemployment rate is about 40% in the country. So the World Bank projection is actually here, and we're in a meeting with the World Bank 2 weeks ago, where we're discussing, fuel subsidy and how the poor is still, how the poor is carrying the burden for the rich. Because if you look at subsidizing for, it is the rich that are benefiting from fuel subsidy, not the poor people. Because poor people still, come to think of it, you still buy fuel in black markets or by the roadside, and it's only in Abuja here you see pump price 165 naira. When you travel down south or down east or west, pump price in some places over 200 naira. Pump or petroleum pump, even in local jazz sometimes, you see pump price 180, 200 naira per liter. So, and this is a sad reality, and I think for us as citizens, we need to understand that this is a turning point, and we have a huge opportunity here. Continual voter registration is ongoing. Our elections is in February next year. We have, we have variety of people who want to represent us. I'm saying represent because I'm not talking about even the presidential election. I'm talking about the lawmakers, but at the state assembly and the National Assembly. Why I'm focused on parliamentarians is because without the State Assembly and the National Assembly, this is not a democracy. That's the only thing that makes Nigeria a democracy, the parliament that ensures separation of power and checks and balance. And it's just the parliament that holds the executive to account and ensures that they curtail their excesses. Today, we have governors that are demigods because our State Assembly have been adjunct. Sadly, our current 9th National Assembly is a total disaster, where now some of them are spokespersons even to the executive. They're the ones who come and give us updates about what the executive is doing or what they're meant to do. So, as you decide in 2023, you need to be more conscious about who you elect to the State Assembly and the National Assembly, because true representation is at the National Assembly, and the National Assembly is more engaging even than the executive because they have public hearing. So when they propose bills or laws, they call for public hearing, and they are meant to represent their constituents in that assembly. So for me, I would even more focus my energy, my time and resources in parliamentary, elective
the representatives,
rather than the executive. Because everybody rather would debate the next president, candidates from these parties, but who are your representative at the National Assembly and
or even the local government levels? Even
the local government. And I said to young people, I said, being young alone does not guarantee you access to corridors of power. And it's just sad and unfortunate that a lot of youths and young people do not play partisan politics or do not play active politics. What do I mean?
What do you mean? Yeah.
So recently, I observed the party primaries across board. I had access as a civil society leader. I observed the primaries. But I've also been observing ward and local government meetings. So when you go to these local governments to attend party meetings, political party meetings, you find 70-year-old, 65-year-old. So the aggregate number is between 45 to 75, 80-year-old that come to this meeting. So you hardly find any mobile upward young person. And I can understand a lot of my generation are looking for work. They're technology savvy, you know, they're in the city center, so Port Harcourt, Lagos, you know, Calabar, Abuja. But that does not mean they cannot contribute to the process. You know, so for me, we need to play partisan politics, or we need to play politics in a way that we can start influencing things from, because it starts from the ward level.
Okay, so when you say play partisan politics, that means join a political party.
Be a card-carrying member of a political party. Because being on the sideline or sitting on the fence or being neutral, how has it helped Nigeria? Or maybe let me also say it in a selfish way. How has it helped you? I help you. How? You know?
Well, they say politics is dangerous.
So again, they say politics is... So I'm a political scientist because I studied political science at the University of Abuja. So they say politics is dirty, politics is dangerous. No, it is the current players that are dirty and dangerous. Politics is a universal entity around the world. Is this how they play politics in Europe or in America or in Asia? So it is the current players. Like I said, we're practicing a democracy without Democrats. So the Democrats are the citizens who have decided to relinquish their powers and their fate, putting it in the hands of people who are dirty, you know, who are dangerous.
Okay, so now what you will say to the average young person out there is get involved. Become a card-carrying member of a political party.
Imagine if, say, 30 million youths today become members of one political party. It becomes the major it becomes the major political party.
Absolutely.
Imagine if 30 million youths just say, you know what, we're going to pick a card of any... We become a force. You know, and politics is about numbers. Power only listens to power. And when you have numbers, naturally you have power because you can influence. So for us as young people, you want to sit at the table, you have to negotiate that power. Because it's not every power that is elective. Some are negotiable. So if you have the numbers, then you can negotiate power and become part of the national government.
All right, Citizen FM 93.7 is Zuma Talking Point, and we're taking a look at how to follow the money with Hamzi Code, who is someone who follows the money and has done that practically, even as much as going all the way to Bagega at personal discomfort. Okay? Bode has sent me the WhatsApp picture of the primary school in Yanya. I will forward it to you when we're done after this. Okay, but they do a video too. Okay, you sometimes
under the rain, please.
Under the rain. Okay, so that the effect is seen. You know, clearly. 13 minutes to 10, and that's 13 minutes to wrapping this up. I want us to go back to following the money.
Yes, I wanted to share two stories.
Okay, please go ahead.
You know, I was talking about when we were attacked by
the bandits.
So at that time, they were called cattle rustlers. So the leader of the group came, and he was wearing hood and all black. And then he looked at us and he said, "Oh, these guys are humanitarian workers.
Wow.
I've watched them travel back and forth. Please give them back their phones and their money and let them go unharmed." Wow. I was at that time. You know, now, you know, bandits, rustlers are now metamorphosed into bandits and now even terrorists. But there's another story. I remember I almost got arrested. Yeah, by the security agency. So what happened was, it was at the heat of the Save Bagega campaign. Okay. When it has gone viral. So there's always a monthly stakeholders meeting in Gusau, which was usually chaired by the executive governor, but then he seconded it to the commissioner of environment and solid minerals. So the commissioner conveys a stakeholders meeting. So you have officials from Abuja, so Ministry of Health, Environment, Mines and Solid Mineral. You have Doctors Without Borders, Medicine Sans Frontier. You have civil society that's follow the money. Then you have community members, so about 40 or 50 community members. The leaders would come, youth leader, women leader, Emirate Council. Okay. They come for this meeting. So usually, this is a meeting where they share knowledge and information and updates of what's going on. What is the federal government doing? What is the state government doing? What is MSF planning to do? What have we also as Follow the Money doing with our campaign? So we're in this meeting, and then a truckload of people stormed the meeting and with AK-47 and arms, and then they said, oh, they're from one of the security agencies. They have an arrest warrant for Hamzat Lawal. So at this meeting, the director came in and he said, "Who is Hamza Lawal?" So everyone kept quiet. No one wanted to identify me. And then I stood up and I said, "I'm Hamza Lawal." Of course, I still look small. Now I'm 35.
Okay.
I still look small. If you look at me, I'm really small, because a lot of people, when they meet me, they're like, "Oh,
well, they say great things come in small
Yes, at that time,
packages.
yeah.
El Rufai is not much bigger. Even
know?
I am not much taller than you. I
Yeah.
don't even think I'm taller than you.
Yeah." So I stood up and I said, "I'm Hamza Lawal." And I said, "Keep quiet and sit down there. You can't be Hamza. How are you? Look at me, Hamza. Shut up." So I stood and I said, "Sir, I am actually Hamza Lawal." And then he looked at me like, "You are the Hamza Lawal causing trouble?" Like, so I'm not causing trouble. So he told his men, "Arrest him." And I'm sharing this so you also know that as citizens who fight for the right of people, who stand for or speak for the right of people, you cannot speak for your own right. Because that's our biggest vulnerability as an activist or as a campaigner. You can't fight for yourself, but you can fight for other people. Because you need someone to speak and fight for you.
For you.
So that day I was really vulnerable. I was confused. And they brought out handcuff. And so in my head, I'm like, I've not committed a crime. I'm just trying to ensure that this community get the desired attention and intervention. So something interesting happened.
Okay, I'm sorry I haven't been taking your calls. I really, really apologize, but I will take one or two more calls. I'm actually enjoying the conversation, that's why. 0818-22-22-205, alternatively 0903-22-29-797. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sorry we've not been taking your calls. So something interesting happened. So the young man was approaching me with a handcuff. And I was just standing there, dumbfounded, confused, and I was just frustrated. And
this was what year?
This was in 2014.
Okay.
Yes, it was 2013 actually, because 2013. Early
that's
2013.
like 9 years ago.
Yes.
So you were 20.
So then I was 25.
25, yeah.
Because I started 24, 25. So
you were about 25.
Going 26. Yeah. So what happened was the community members stood up. And then they stood in front of me. And then they told the security people that Hamza's here. What Hamza is doing is bringing a lot of attention to our community. And what he's doing is the right thing. No one is speaking for us. He's the only one speaking for us. So if you would arrest Hamza, you have to arrest
all of us.
40, 50 of us first. Then before it gets to Hamza. And then an argument ensued. I was just standing there. I could not even utter a word. I was just standing there confused and watching the drama. And then, there was serious debate and arguments and exchange of words. And so the security guys saw that these community people were serious. And what would happen is there would be chaos if they tried to, access me and try to arrest me. So the director stepped out, made a few phone calls, and then he came back. And then he said Abuja has lifted. They thought Abuja has lifted the arrest warrant.
Wow.
And that they should let Hamza, they should let them go. So I summoned courage. And I approached this director because he was an elderly man. So I approached him and I said, "Please, sir, I want to ask you for a favor. What is it?" I said, "Please, sir, can you sit in this meeting and even listen and understand what we're doing?" And I said, okay. So he told some of his boys to wait for him. So he sat. And then he sat for 1.5 hour, 2 hours meeting, listening to all the updates and my own updates. So at the end, he now called me to the side and he said, "Young man, I am really sorry." Because he now said, one of these kids in this community could have actually been my child. If not that I am educated and I have a job, I probably would be a member of one of this community whose child had died or who is sick. I'm really sorry. Wow. What you're doing is actually commendable
and noble.
Please go ahead with your business. And then we exchanged numbers and I kept in touch with him. And so you could see that sometime again, some of the security personnel, they just take orders. They don't understand
what is going on. Hamzi Code, okay? Hamzi is at Hamzi Code on Twitter. There is so much that we could have. I want to talk to you about, but then we have less than 7 minutes to go. The Accountant General recently was picked up by the EFCC, 80 billion, and they're saying that there's another 90 billion that is somewhere hanging, that they're, how do citizens follow this money? What do we do?
So as a citizen, and I know that a lot of people listening are frustrated and agitated and probably some have given up and say they want to jack back. Because, when you put 80 billion,
You see,
crazy,
you see,
know?
when people say 80 billion, my colleague here, when we review the papers together, they say I always hold a calculator because, well, I'm also Ijebu. So what I do is I bring it out and I say 80 billion, that is 1 billion naira in 80 places.
Yeah.
Now, 1 billion naira in 80 places is 100 million naira times 10 and then times 80. And then you break that down. 10 million naira will buy or will build a comfortable 2-bedroom house, and then 10 million in 10 places.
What I try to
humongous.
do is I add it to social issues. So 80 billion will build state-of-the-art primary healthcare center in all the 704 local government.
You can
imagine.
imagine.
It will build and change. So it will build primary healthcare center. It will build primary school. So this school in Nyanya, it will build the
in
school,
774
computer laboratory with computer and internet. That's what this money can do in Nigeria. And then one person embezzled or mismanaged or stole the money. So what citizens can do, our biggest power is to ask questions, but ask the right question informed by data. Just tell people, it's not just about talking or engaging on Twitter, but engage with the right form of information and knowledge. And I tell people, when you go into a room with government, there's a way you engage, then they don't take you serious. But there's a way you engage, even as small as I am. You cannot toss me around because
it's obvious.
One, I have knowledge that you as a minister don't have. Or you as a PAMSEC, or you as a director, or you as a civil servant. So, by the way, I was the first guy that visited this community. So no government official at that time had gone to Bagega. So all of them were just
so many children.
All of them were just quoting newspaper reports.
Terrible.
By health reporters or journalists that 400 children had been reportedly.
Okay, Hamza, the citizens now. The
citizens have to understand that building Nigeria is our collective effort. So Follow the Money is now in 10 African countries.
Wow, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
And now there's growing interest to bring Follow the Money in the US and Canada, in Southeast Asia, and even in Europe. So, but for me, the solution has to be local. It has to be homegrown. Why Follow the Money is working in Nigeria is because it is a Nigerian initiative. It falls within our context. Because corruption is already in the fabric of our country because we've lost values and we don't even have a collective identity. So everyone is so greedy and they want to amass so much wealth that they don't even need. So for me, citizen first needs to understand that they must hold government to account, and it is their fundamental right to hold government to account, to also demand. So again, it's about, and if you look at the story, it's about advocating for and then following to ensure justice, and then
to ensure that it is delivered utilized for the right thing.
Reason. So and it is citizens' role and responsibility. So you out there, I alone cannot do it, you alone cannot do it, but if we all agree and come up with an identity, a unified front, I believe that we can put Nigeria to the pathway towards Christmas.
And that's just the amazing way to end the Zuma talking point this morning. If I had my way, we would extend this for another hour, but I don't, because time is the only resource that we all have, in equal measures. So I want to say a very big thank you to you, Hamzi Code. I would have loved us to look at the new app by the Ministry of Finance some other time, which will help to follow the money, but unfortunately we don't have enough time. You will be back, hopefully.
Yes.
Okay.
I would be back, or one of my colleagues will come to your fancy studio. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Don't forget, you can watch all of this on YouTube if you go to youtube.com and search for Citizen FM 93.7. A very big thank you to you for sitting back to listen and enjoying the show. A big apology to all those who called and I didn't pick your calls. A very big thank you also to Bode. My name is KEMI Asheko. I've been assisted by Muna Aka this morning. I just want to say a very big thank you to you once again. Hamza, continue to follow the money, and hopefully we'll have more people like you who will follow the money, and more citizens who will pay great attention to that which we need to fix this country. Because like I always say, there is no Messiah coming to save Nigeria from Nigerians themselves. I am KEMI Asheko, Kem for short, and I'll see you tomorrow by God's grace. Have a great day.